Howdy ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. So today we're going to be doing my monthly video of technologies I love. I started this a month ago and I've probably got enough articles for, God, I'm going to say probably around 50 different videos because, I don't want to do a 5-hour video. Or at least not yet until I do streaming, but that's a half a year away still. So I started following a bunch of sites, scientific sites. And as I said in the last video, I'm going to make that disclaimer again. Not all of these are real. And I don't want to say I'm not educated enough, but I'm not informed enough to know what is real and what isn't. So for this video, I am presenting you with concepts. The best way to look at these are concepts that have been thought of, in some cases are being worked on. They may be conceptual, they may be theory, they may be practical, they may be in existence already. I personally don't know. So I'm just bringing you what I see brought to me in these different scientific groups, and I find it fascinating. So little backstory here, excuse the pun. I'm on disability. I have a hereditary spinal disease. About 80% of my spinal cord is fused naturally. I have very limited movement in this shoulder. I just saw my rheumatologist and he had me show everybody, or he had a girl from the Ukraine learning to be a rheumatologist. So he wanted me to show her so she could see firsthand, because I'm on the higher spectrum of most severe. So do this with me at home and you can see the difference. Put your hands like this. Now turn your body. That's all my body turns. I can't go any further. Same this way. That's it. And that's from the spine. Or another one he had me do. Look down. Now look up. And that's as high as my neck goes upwards. And the other one to try at home is we're just going to take the head and we're going to like that. So, but you can see mine doesn't move. It is right here. It is solid. It's like, that's what it feels like. So, this is what I'm dealing with. So I love looking at this stuff because this very well might be applicable to me in the future in many cases. So do I last long enough for it to become reality? I don't know. That's anyone's guess. I'm 59 years old, so I'm in the back end now. But still, it's fascinating stuff. And I love watching it. I love reading about it. I love dreaming about it, even if it's just conceptual. And I have reality. It's like I said about I've been saying for, God, probably 2 decades now that I want the neurochip. Before Elon Musk ever said neurochip, I want it. I saw that concept in, I think it was the movie Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves. And I'm like, that is so cool. I want that. You plug in and you go into a virtual reality and you're good. You're golden. I mean, to me, that's my retirement plan. But I'm not going to volunteer myself for Elon's Neuralink. Nope. He's doing human trials. That one is practical, but I'm not signing up for them. I'm going to wait till they're done and they're safe. And then some other company takes that technology and reverse engineers it and makes it safer and more affordable. And I may even wait for the next company to do it again. And it's the same thing for my Android phone. I don't do iPhones. I think they're a huge waste of money. They're a huge waste of money, and I don't find them very intuitive, to be honest. My mother and my brother have iPhones, and they drive me absolutely crazy every time I have to try to use one of them. They don't make sense to me. Android makes perfect sense, and that phone I get at about 1/5 the price of what a iPod costs, or an iPad costs, or sorry, an iPhone costs. And yeah, so I think the Android does more. And that's what I'm waiting for the Neuralink. But anyway, so let's get started. Before we get to that, if you guys find any value in my videos, and I hope you do, I really hope you do, please take the 1 second to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers to get monetized on YouTube. It's just the simple, hard truth. So even if you only watch this one video, leave me a subscription, please. All right. And as for the commenting and the sharing, that really, and liking actually, that really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting my videos out to more people, more eyes that aren't subscribed to me. So yeah, I could really use the hand, and I thank you for it. All right, on to this week's topic. So first up, as we were just talking about my spine, Swiss doctors restored walking in paralyzed patients using a brain-linked spinal implant that rewires movement in real time. I believe, my opinion, let me put it that way, this is real. They've been working on this for a while. And there's other technologies that are out there already that kind of utilize the same thing. So I think this is real. And I think this is fantastic because there may come a day where I'm paralyzed. You know, when I got diagnosed with my ankylosing spondylitis, the doctor looked at me and he said, one wrong hit to your spine and you will be paralyzed. And like, knock on wood, that's never happened. But my spine has become more and more and more fused and immobile. As you just saw, I just showed you 3 simple exercises that I simply can't do anymore. There's too much fusing back there. There's too much inflammation and muscle spasms. So I am pumped for this, and I hope this is real. Maybe it's just my hoping it's real, but I really do hope it's real. The next one we have is scientists reverse aging in human skin cells by 30 years using cellular reprogramming, making 53-year-old cells behave 23-year-old tissue. Now, this is cool. Do I know if that's practical? No. Do I think it's practical? No. I think it's in the developmental stage. I think it's a theory that they're working on, but this is something straight out of science fiction. Like, if you watched Altered Carbon, amazing show. Season 1 is absolutely astounding, and I recommend anyone who's never watched it to watch it, but do not watch season 2. Just watch season 1 and turn it off. But Altered Carbon dealt with this and with cloning, and both of them kind of go hand in hand. And you know, like I said, it's an old scientific or science fiction concept. But we're hearing about scientists working on making it science fact. And most of the new inventions nowadays are science fiction from 40, 50, 60 years ago. They're just, the technology's at a point that they're no longer science fiction. They're now becoming science fact. So this could be real. I don't think this will come out in my lifetime. But in 50, 100 years, this may be commonplace out of the drugstore even. The next one, this one I do hope and pray is real. New bone strength solution. New Hydrogel shot significantly boosts bone strength, making them 5 times denser. Now, this is so important. Like, I have an artificial hip already, and probably in a few years I'll be getting a second one. Doctors haven't said that, but I know my body at this point pretty well. So this could eliminate that if this is real, because they could inject the hydrogel. And hydrogel is another science fiction staple. You go play Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. It's a video game. They have hydrogel in it. You watch I can't even name them all. So many science fiction movies, they have hydrogel in it. So this is one of those cases where it's a science fiction concept that's becoming science fact. And if they can do this, this will be fantastic for people avoiding surgery. Like some people, myself probably, and I'm probably in the category where I would have had to had surgery anyway. But for some people, this could prolong it by a few years at least, or eliminate it. And that would be huge. Like, who wouldn't want to take an injection rather than going in for a complete hip replacement? Because trust me, relearning to walk is not fun, especially when you got shitty physiotherapy that doesn't teach you right. Sorry, personal gripe there. The next one, this one's really cool. The only way I can describe this is if you've ever watched or read the books, True Blood. Norwegian scientists built synthetic blood that survives cold, shock, and trauma, working better than real blood. Now, with True Blood, it's about vampires. But what they're talking about here is synthetic blood that's universal. So you got type AB negative or O or whatever, and they don't have it on hand, this can work. And I know they've been working on this for quite some time. I remember reading about scientists working on this, God, probably about 20 years ago now. So I believe this one is actually true. I don't know if it's Norwegian scientists, but internet being what it is, but I believe scientists are working on synthetic blood and synthetic plasma and that. And that will be a huge breakthrough if they can figure this out for the medical community, for space, for everything. This will be one of the biggest breakthroughs out there, because not a day goes by we don't hear about some country being short on the blood they need. This would eliminate that shortage, that problem, and that would be spectacular. This one I added because my mother recently got diagnosed with macular degeneration. She's 87 years old, so it was to be expected. But scientists developed safer double graft eye surgery that could help treat macular degeneration vision loss. And that's like, this is very, very fine tuned surgery. Like, you don't want to be messing with eyes. So if this is safer, that's massive. And, if you can, it's another disease that if they can get rid of the disease, humankind is better off for it. Any disease we can get out of the planet is better. I had to add this one. I talked a little bit earlier about Neuralink. Elon Musk. Elon Musk says Neuralink will help blind people see again within the next year. Now, I'm going to be very interested to see if this comes true. He's made a lot of predictions on his Neuralink and on his other SpaceX stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see if any of this comes true. But I do know Neuralink is in human testing, and it has been for a couple of years. So maybe he's telling the truth, because I imagine it's connecting to the brain and you're seeing patterns and your brain's deciphering it, not your eyes. So it could be true. I don't know. And with Elon, it's so hard to tell because he is a very big braggart. He over brags on a lot of his stuff, and he's brilliant. There's no doubt about it. He's brilliant. I ignore the whole political shit with him. I'm more interested in Elon, the inventor, and the scientists. And if he can do this, this is fantastic. Fantastic news. And I hope he's being truthful. I hope he is, because that would be brilliant. I've known a couple of, I haven't known blind people, but I've known a couple people that their eyesights were so bad that they were almost blind. And if they could put this on, like they were wearing Coke bottle glasses like that thick. And if they could put this on and just see, that would be life-changing for them. It would be absolutely life-changing for them. And I want that for them. I really do. This one I added because it goes back to me, is China's new brain spinal implant lets paralyzed people walk again in just 24 hours. I don't believe this is true. Just for the record, I don't believe this one is true. I believe this is conceptual. But you are hearing a lot of different scientists and scientific communities talking about stuff like this. So this is definitely being researched, and they're looking into it. But I don't think they're at this point yet. I think this is just, internet speculation being passed off as fact. But, that's the risk you run with the internet. So, but yeah, if they can do this, thumbs up. Big thumbs up. This one also affects me because I'm in a lot of pain daily, and I'm not saying this for people to feel sorry for me, so don't. But I'm in a lot of pain daily, and for the last 35 years, I've been on opioids. They started me on Tylenol 3, then they put me on to Tylenol 4, then they put me on to Percocet, then they put me on to OxyContin, and then they put me on to morphine. And now I'm trying to cut all that out and use weed oil because there's other issues going on thanks to all those. And one of the issues I face with all those opioids is my teeth. Now, at age 35, I did not have a single cavity, a single filling. My teeth were white as could be. At 59, about 50 to 60% of my teeth are fillings. And that is because of opioids. So what they have here is scientists have created a smart tooth that can grow into your gums and connect to nerves like a real tooth. It's embedded with stem cells and growth proteins to mimic the feel and function of a natural tooth. And that's fantastic because I got a tooth back here that's getting pulled in about 2 weeks because I had a root canal from the opioids, and they did the root canal, but the bone is dying. The bone is disintegrating. So now you get these gaps under your teeth, and that's how bacteria gets into them. And I have a pretty significant gap under the fillings. So they're going to have to, there's nothing else they can do. They got to pull the tooth. But if this is real and ever became commonplace, I could get a replacement tooth because it would grow in and it would, using the stem cells and growth proteins, mimic the feel and function of a natural tooth. And that would be massive for so many people. You see a lot of people out there with really bad teeth. I don't have really bad teeth. I just have a lot of fillings because of having to be on opioids every day of my life for the last 35 years. And with that came the problems. But if we could solve that, that would be massive. I don't know how else to put it. But I imagine if this is real, this is going to be expensive. So I don't probably believe that it's going to happen in my lifetime. It's probably 30 years out, I'm going to guess, 30 to 40 years out before it becomes mainstream where it's affordable, that not only the rich can afford it, but still it's something to shoot for. This one, it has to do with it's my mother and myself. My mother is 87 years old with advanced dementia. Her memory is gone. Like, she will ask you the same question 7, 8, 9 times in 10 minutes of talking because she doesn't remember. It's advanced dementia. That's what happens. And for me, I'm starting to notice, and I blame it on the opioids again, is I have an excellent long-term memory. Like, my long-term memory is almost eidetic. My short-term memory, unfortunately, is really starting to suffer. I'm not like my mother, knock on wood, I never am, but it's enough that I've noticed it, and it's enough that I'll be doing a will. I've got a will, but I'm going to have it redone through a lawyer because I need to put in a safeguard for if I ever do get advanced dementia. But what we have here is scientists have discovered a molecular brain glue that helps memories last a lifetime. So this is not correcting dementia or memory loss, or, well, I guess it is kind of protecting memory loss. It helps you remember. It helps you hold on to those memories. So, like, I feel so terrible for my mom because she's reliving 5 or 6 memories over and over and over. And that's all she's got to talk about. That's what she keeps bringing up because that's all she remembers now. So this would be spectacular to help somebody like her or any dementia patient who's starting to lose their memories. This would be massive. All right, and for the final 2 I have for you today. Again, I'm going back to my spine. Scientists installed the world's first electronic spine to restore movement after paralysis. Again, I don't know if this is real, but this is a science fiction staple for decades. It was probably around before I was born, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if you went back in the 1920s, read some of the old science fiction books, they had this stuff. So, and as I said at the start, you're seeing that old science fiction becoming science fact. Like computers. Computers at one time were science fiction. Nobody believed a computer could exist. And now we couldn't function without them. Same with cell phones. Same with hearing aids. I don't have mine in right now because I don't need them when I'm on the computer. But, hearing aids, they're so small you don't even notice them anymore. So I don't know if this is real, but I hope it is, because I don't like having such limited mobility. I hate it. And I have absolutely no problem if they want to stick a bunch of electronics onto my spine if it gives me my mobility back. None whatsoever. So, yeah, I hope this is real. I hope this is real, and I want to believe it's real because so much of the old science fiction has become science fact nowadays that I don't find this outrageous. The next one, I know for a fact this is real. And I know for a fact this has been a staple of science fiction for a long, long time. New super skin technology repairs 90% of wounds in 4 hours and fully heals them in 24 hours. Now, I don't know about the time frame. That's the only thing in that little tidbit I'm not sold on. But I know for a fact there is technology where it's like a cast, but it's a gel type cast, which I talked to you before about the Hydrogel. And it's a gel type cast, would go over your arm or your leg or whatever if you had a cut or something, and it just pulls it together. And you can see this in Starship Troopers. did this. They had a clip in there where a guy got injured and they just put the hydrogel on the sleeve and it just, and yeah, so it's like I said, this has been science fiction for a long, long time. And I know for a fact they have been working on this for a while. I don't know if it's as far along as this image is saying it's along, but it's definitely coming in my lifetime. And that will be great for, especially for people like high-risk jobs like police, fire, ambulance drivers, paramedics, doctors, nurses, people like that. This will be massive for them. So, yeah. All right, and that's all I have for you today. This has been Technologies I Love, with the focus on medical technologies this time. I'll switch it up to the next one. It'll probably be, most likely it'll be about power, or it'll be about farming, or it'll be about space. I haven't decided yet, but for this one, it was about medical technologies. And I think we're entering an age that's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think a lot of this stuff is going to start rolling out at a pace. They've been working on it for a long time. They've been talking about it for a long time. They've been theorizing about it for a long time. And I think our technology, especially with AI now, has got us to a point where a lot of this stuff is going to start coming out one after another, after another, after another, after another, as realism. Now, the big question is going to be the cost. And yeah, there's no two ways about that, but still, it's exciting to see. I think it's exciting to see. I hope you do. So anyway, that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. I really do. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage everybody to leave a comment. Not only does it get you interacting, but it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And if you ever want me to stop begging, get me up to 1,000 subscribers and I'll stop begging. But yeah. And as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.